live now.
Is he talking about toilets? And...
Yeah, bowel movement.
This is important stuff we're discussing, you know. Right, let's go.
Let's do it. Perhaps we keep this for ourselves. I don't want to let it go. We'll discuss it.
Yes, all right. We are a few minutes late, admittedly, but we're having a very important discussion about toilets.
Very, very deep conversation.
Yes, it's one of those conversations literally you guys don't want to hear about. So, yes. Okay, so Christ, we better start. We're late. Anyway, good evening, good afternoon, or good morning to wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Thank Flory It's Friday show. Almost said it then. By mistake. Demonetised if we were monetised. Anyway, we trust you're all doing very well. Made it to the weekend at last. So a very busy week working our way through. So for the next couple of hours, we are literally just going to chill, relax, have a look, see what we've been up to this week. And then any questions you got, just post them up and we can answer any questions on the fly. Have a look at Matt's fantastic. Matt, move it towards you slightly.
This way.
Just slightly. That's it. So it's in shot. That's it.
Hold on. It's not finished. But
oh, right. You're going to put your spinny on. That's it.
There you go. Like you can
There
see it speed down.
Campbell Whit Green music now.
Watch it speed up with a
fly off. Very good. Excellent. Anyway, good evening, good afternoon, or good morning to YouTube land, wherever you are on the surface of this fine planet we all call home. And hello to everybody who is in chat as well. Let me mute that, otherwise it's going to start bleeping at me. So that's very good. We trust you're all doing very well. Good job. Andy, if you can watch our chat, I'll watch the YouTube chat.
I've got our chat on here.
Have you got your chat there? If you do our chat, I'll watch YouTube chat.
Yep.
So, yes. It's not technical difficulties with ours. It's just we're lazy and don't check things. Because DJ's just saying it's the technical difficulties that add to the charm of the show. This is what it is. Well, at least I turned the sound on for today. Unlike last night where I forgot to unmute myself.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we trust you're all doing well. So what we do, we have a quick recap of what's happened this week. So obviously, I'm going to do it backwards today. So technically, you're watching us now. This is what this one is. Also, part 12 of the Seahawk is up with you. So obviously, this is finishing off the weathering as we left it in the last part. And then we talk about, obviously, a few of the lumps and bumps that I put onto it, the aerials and antennas and that. We start to add those onto this one. And then, obviously, there's that fine tail. We talk about, obviously, the weathering with the actual decals working really, really well on that one. And then it's all about the rotor head. So it's about doing the plumbing and wiring. And I have a little talk about how it would be nice to have it working, but the limitations working with bits this small. To try and pin it and do it, I don't think it would hold together. Then you'd have to do something in metal and yeah, it would be a bit. Anyway, we plumb it up, do all the wiring, finish off all of that. We actually get the rotor holders in place, fix them into it. And then obviously we talk about getting all of this in, which is quite a large part of the build. And it worked really, really well. So very, very happy of how that happened and came about. So anyway, that is up with you now, talking all about that. There is another part to this come up. It's going to be on Monday with the final reveal and all the bits and pieces with it as well. So you can catch up with that one and that will complete the Seahawk. So that is good. Also up with you today is this fine kit. I say fine kit. It's not brilliant. If you go into review section, you get all the other photos from it in here. But again, it's one of those ones where you can't put your finger on what's wrong with it, but there's definitely a shape issue with it. And it's just too bulbous on the nose, I'm finding. And it does look like that somebody with a screwdriver or a rusty nail did the scribing on the tail. Apart from that, it's a lovely kit. The cockpit detail actually isn't too bad, as you can see. It's got some nice sort of, bits going on there. And the recessed detailing on the fuselage is very nice. But unfortunately, like you can see in here, the weapons bits had a bit of a bang with it. Are they AMRAAM Cs? Because it looks like it's got the clip front and the full tail ones. So I think they're supposed to be AMRAAM Bs, maybe. But as you see, it's just a little bit clunky. Do we know much about this company, Matt?
No,
nothing at all.
Because we can't even find the kit anymore.
Right, okay.
It's disappeared off the planet. So, like I said, I think it's something to do with models fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we can't find it. And literally, it was only ordered before Christmas. It was one of them I was waiting for to come in from Glow to Be in Germany that came the other week. And it seems to have gone off their website and nobody else. It's a bit thin on the ground for information.
We even had to dig the original receipt out to see what the part number was.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know whether it's limited edition or because it doesn't say on the box, does it?
No.
It's just a models bit.
And
I
don't know. It's a bit bizarre, really.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. It's one of those weird ones that Matt sent me down to review, and as I say, it's a bit of a head scratcher with all of it. It's got some quite gnarly sink marks in the wings as well. So,
does anyone else do a 72nd F-16 Barak?
Asgal did one, I think. Did they do that or a Suffer in 72nd? I actually don't know.
Because originally, when I first saw it, I thought this was the Hasegawa one. But it's not, because it's not. It's too clunky for the Hasegawa one. The Hasegawa one's more refined than this one. But I think they've taken some artistic liberties, shall we say, from the Hasegawa kit.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Yeah, like you say, it's a bit, off some way. But,
definitely one of those weird ones. Anyway, you can see the review of it. That is up with you now. Yesterday, obviously, it was us. I haven't changed the thumbnail over yet, but it's us. And obviously, the review of the actual P40E. So again, nice special hobby kit right the way through. Beautiful little kit. I have to say, I really like it. Good kit, that one. So that was up with you then. And then we've got me and the gang, very much like we are now, for the PM show. That was up with you on Wednesday as well. So if you want to see that one, you can see there. We were talking, well, pretty much everything with that. Obviously, what's new in with us. We were talking tools. We spoke about Tamiya and a few other bits and pieces as well. So you can see that one just on there. On Tuesday, I was with All Things Spinny. We were talking about the builds ahead. Obviously, you can see them in front of me now as well. And obviously, we're talking primers and mixes and textures and all different things like that on that show right the way through. So that one was up on there. And then on Monday, it was part 11 of the Seahawk, which is obviously a little bit back where we talk about obviously doing the window tinting. This one was all about the weathering of the actual bird right the way through. And then obviously on Monday as well, we had the review for the 72nd scale Great Wall Hobbies F14A Tomcat, which is a great little build as well. So that one is a gorgeous kit. Very, very detailed as well, right the way through on that one. So if you want to do a 72nd scale one, I think that's probably where you'll go at the moment. You can't get hold of the fine molds one at the moment, can we?
Sorry, I'm just writing a message. Sorry.
Oh, right, sorry.
Sorry about that. He's asking about, bloody hell, I can't spell either. Shipping. All international shipping is now from PM, not from Phil.
Yes.
And the discount still applies, if you remember. Oh, God, I can't spell
But
it.
only on Phil's products, not the...
obviously.
So obviously the 15% discount that we do, which is obviously in here, in the store for members, all of this one is obviously that carries over. You can still use the same password at PM, but it only gets you the same discount on the same products. So you don't get it on anything else there. So I must admit, I answered somebody in the forum who put up a question about that as well, saying about it. So yes, you can order from PM and use the Flory Models discount code, but it's only on Flory Models products. So it's sanders, washes, and things like that.
And yes, David, it's only for Flory Models members, so don't give it out to anybody else.
Yes, otherwise it means I have to keep changing the freaking code. But also we can tell, because obviously it just comes up on the system if they're a member or not. So it does weed out the odd one that slips through. But anyway, that's all that stuff as well. So I might have some news about some clay, but I'm not going to say anything until Monday. But I had a very long Skype meeting with some people this morning, and so we might be able to get it back in manufacturing at the end of the month. So we might not have to wait till September after all. So anyway, they're going to get back to me hopefully by the end of today. So I'll know more after the show with any luck. So yes. That's really what we've been up to in there. Where are we? Back to us. There we go. I've lost our little thing now. Hold on. Where's our little logo? There it is. Sorted. Very good. Anyway, how's things over at PM Land?
All right, isn't it?
Been right,
Busy, haven't we, really, this morning and yesterday. Obviously, I've been cracking on with this thing as well to try and get this Jag done.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got pot went up yesterday. Want it
Part
4. I think there's another part for next week, and then the final will be the week after. Another couple of parts, and it'll be finished.
Yes.
So I'm literally now looking at that. I've got like wipers to do, number plates. Well, there's a few decals to put on for badges and stuff, and we're not far off, to be honest. So final polish, and it'll be finished.
Looking very nice.
And I've just figured out what I'm doing next. Is a quick thingy build in between.
Right.
Can you guess which it is?
Hold on. Let me come to us. I'll press the wrong button. So I reckon it's going to be a certain Airfix kit.
No.
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 I was going for the 2-in-1 option. So yes.
Obviously.
I was playing the percentages there. So yeah, going to go for the refueler, yeah?
I was about to say, did you need another guess?
Yeah. No, I'm going to do the refueler because you've reviewed it and it's a nice little kit, and I think it'd be a nice little build to do. I've got sort of like you, I've got quite a few planned now. I'm quite ahead of myself on what I'm going to do with video builds, but I'm waiting for stuff to come in and some other bits where I can start on other things to start, as in SIGs and stuff that one of them's going to coincide with. So I'm thinking, well, we've had that a while, and I did say a while ago that I said I would build it. So now's the time. The Jag's nearly done. We're ahead of ourselves anyway with what footage we've got. So I think, well, I'll do that as a little bit of a filler in.
We have got these stock. If anyone wants to build along with Matt, build along with Matt.
If you ain't got one already, could be sold left.
People do wonder where are they? They're actually in the miscellaneous section.
Yeah, we might move them actually back up to somewhere else.
It hasn't got its own bit, has it?
No, because obviously HM Hobbies is their own. That's it.
Yeah.
Unless we're going to be doing diecast, which I can't see us doing.
You could put them in new arrivals, couldn't you?
Yeah, we might move them back if anybody's interested in the arrivals, because they are a bit lost in miscellaneous, aren't they? So, but yeah, that's going to be my next sort of video build thing. And then we've got these back in stock as well. These have come in, which is obviously what Nathan's built. So there's a link on our Facebook page to this and his videos, and it's on the site as well, isn't it? So it's a cracking little kit actually. I really enjoyed it. And we've got the Fireflies back in, which I've obviously off built one, needs finishing off, but that's a good little kit as well actually. So bit of Airfix stuff in. So yeah.
Very nice. Excellent. Good job. Right, okay, so as you can see down in here, I'm cracking on a little bit with the next build. So this is the X15, which is quite a large lump. So she's coming together. So I've just been working on that. So I've got to scratch build a bit because there's a bit missing from the kit. And I went back and looked at the review, which was some time ago, and that's missing the part as well. So yeah, so I'm just going to scratch build one of them. Cockpit's all done already. Instrument panels in. Things are drying in various locations. Contact your glue for this one. Make sure you get them in. So yes, good job. Right, how are we in chat? Let me just go back a little bit, see if there's any questions. Hi, one for Matt. Got your message about the B36 prop. That's fine. Do you need me to scan if you can find it?
Yeah, well, I'll keep in touch about that. I haven't had a chance today to have a look, but yeah, I'll do it over. I don't know if I'm in tomorrow or not yet. I'm not decided, but we'll have a look as soon as I get 5 minutes, and I'll let you know. We'll get it sorted. Fire up your printer, mate. I'll tell you later. You don't know. I told you.
He's going to be 3D printing one, is he?
I'll tell you later.
What are you talking about?
He's got no clue. So yeah, all good.
Fair enough. So what's the price on the F16? I don't know. I don't even know how much they are they? Do we know a price on those F16s?
About 23 quid.
Right,
We've worked out. We've only got 2. You've got 1 and we've got 1 here, and that's it. I ain't got no more. I don't think we'll get any either. I just got it to see if it was any good. And then if it was, send you one to review. And then if it was not too bad, we'll get some more in. It's not great, and I can't get any anyway, so this looks like it's it. So if you do want it,
in fact, the one that we've got might have actually sold.
Yes, so there's only Phil's left who can bag it back up if anybody wants it. But yeah, so if you want it, let Andy know. First come, first serve.
Let me just grab it. I haven't got my usual backdrop. Hold on, let me get my backdrop of the ones we've done this week on. Hold on. Here we go. And this gem.
Full video for your profile.
There it is. Very nice. To be honest, as you say, it was a bit worrying when we saw the box art, and it was like, ooh. Apparently, my Models Vit P51H had a decal, I think you mean sheet or sheep, similar to the F16A. Decals are fine, release quickly and lay down well. To be honest, that was the thing. When we did the review of it, the decals look very thin, and they do look quite nice, to be honest. So,
I've got a question from Jez for you.
Go on.
Have you forgotten about the Android one on the last auction by any chance? Android one, Jez, do you owe Jez something?
No, yeah, it does. I've never invoiced him because you say it takes forever to pay. So I thought he's probably not that worried. So, all right, Jez, I'll invoice you. So,
I'll send him Jez something from there, from his. Didn't Jez win the?
Yeah, he might.
I'm sure he won the Tamiya.
What's an
Lotus,
Android
was
one?
it?
What's an Android one?
I think perhaps he means auction one because lot
Auction
one.
one.
I don't know.
Yeah,
John won the sticks, didn't he?
Yes.
But I'm sure he won the
Yeah.
the Tamiya
Lotus
that was from Phil.
Europa.
Yeah.
Was it the Europa or was that
Phil
gone?
sent him that.
I've already sent that.
Oh, right, I don't know.
No, because he did. He won Jez won the first auction, which we do as the starter one,
right,
isn't it?
Yeah.
0.5 as we call it. It's all right, Jez. I'll invoice you as soon as I can work out how much it was. I will sort it out.
I think David, she needs to be going on to. He's on about like should he start an 8-year-old start on Airfix 172nd models or keep her on quick build. I'll get her on Kitty Hawk straight away.
My next door neighbour, when she found out what I did, laughed and then
Call the police.
Yeah, that's it. And now he's got a restraining order.
She had to get her son an Airfix Lancaster, and he's probably about 6, 7.
All right.
Yeah, we also.
What's your first kit?
Which got me off the hook because I'd probably have to build it with him.
And then Wally's put one about that. What's John building? That Sea Sprite in it.
Yeah.
If I were you, I'd go straight to Kitty Hawk because it would cost an absolute fortune to get it from us.
Yeah.
Or find it somewhere in Australia or somewhere where the shipping's a bit.
Kitty Hawk's got to be cheaper from there to Australia.
Yeah.
Or
some grocery store on eBay. Because
Hong Kong's only round the corner from Australia.
Yeah, but even New Zealand, and that's just in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? To be fair, that is a bit, it'd be somewhat good direct, especially if you're down that neck of the woods. I don't know.
Yeah, you'll be able to get them quicker than here.
It's here, is it? It's not a rare kit. It's readily available. So yeah.
Yeah, we can get them in. It's not a problem. It's just you might be better off getting it your neck of the woods and certainly us.
You don't want to get it from us with posting costs, I'll tell you, because it will be 3 times what you paid for the kit to send it to New Zealand. It's proper gone up. That's because Jez, because that's because we sent it from here. That's why you've got it. It's about Spitfire you won.
Oh, Spitfire, of course, it was Spitfire, wasn't it?
You won the Spitfire with that
Spitfire.
perfect box.
It was slightly damaged.
Little bit chewed up.
Got mauled. Okay, Ray says, hello team. Tamiya Phantom 2 F4J. My question is the dark grey areas along the fuselage depicted with a decal, small areas on top of the wings. Is this a walkway? Yes, it is. Would it be a rough non-slip material? Yes, technically it is. But because of the scale effect to it, it's not one of those things where you might want to mess around with it. It's not like doing armor anti-slip and that, which is quite noticeable. Personally, I never do it with a textured finish onto them because normally it's the equivalent of like really rough sandpaper, and in a scale effect, it's not noticeable. It's not like armor where it's proper lumpy. So I always just go with the decal or paint them in for the walkways. But yeah, technically it's an anti-slip coating, so they don't slide off the intakes or the engine bays or lyricses and various things on aircraft.
I suppose if you've got a satin effect on your general aircraft, you could do those bits in a complete matte, couldn't you? Just
that's it if you wanted to.
Differentiate between them.
Yeah.
Hi, any news on Dark Dirt Wash? To be honest,
No.
it's not going to be this month. Even if I got it literally Monday, it'll take me a week to get it into soak and then to make it and then bottle it, label it and everything else going out. So it's going to be end of the month at the earliest. As I said, I'm hopeful after I had a meeting this morning on Skype with said manufacturers that they are sorting me out with a quick batch to keep me over the line. And now they're talking now. Originally, to be honest with you, they were talking September to reopening the production, but now they're talking late April. So that's the good news. And now they're on about they might be able to just sort me out to get us over the hump till they can get into production for it. So we're hopeful things are picking up a little bit, which is the best news I've had because I've been chasing it for 2 weeks. So fingers crossed. Hold on, people. It's on its way.
A man with a bucket and a spade.
Yeah, or some sweepings.
Yeah, that's it. I have said I'll have whatever's left in the silo. I'll go in there myself if you want and scrape it out and get it out. Can anyone recommend a lacquer version of the RAF Light Slate Grey?
Yeah, Taka do one.
Hataka lacquers do them, don't they?
Taka do one, and I think Real Colour do it as well.
Yeah, AK Real Colour do it.
AK Real do it, which is obviously on them hybrids. You can fin it with lacquer thinners and stuff. But
Yeah.
if you want pure lacquer, then Orange Top do it. I don't know the number. It's down the bottom. 20 something, I think it is. 204, 203.
MRP do it.
202. Rings a bell.
MRP do it.
Do they? MRP do it as well then? I don't know.
But we don't sell that, so
No, Attacker Lacquer do it. Yeah. David, but IT Microsol has left a crinkle in one of my decals. Painful. That hasn't uncrinkled. Is there a fix? Cheers.
Time. Leave it.
Yeah?
Sometimes they take days to go, but I had one. I don't remember what it was working on now. But I had I gave it another coat of Micro Sol, the red one, and eventually it just went. So sometimes it gets trapped in there and it has to sort of go out via the paint and around it or physically through the decal to get itself sorted out. So, but if it's after a week, give it another coat and see what happens. Because sometimes it gets stuck.
just thick coats, not.
Yeah, don't flood it.
Yeah,
just
don't flood it. Very thin coats.
Wouldn't you be pulling out the X20A?
If I'm happy nothing's working, then yeah,
Or the extra
X28.
thin? Get the extra thin on it.
Yeah, don't quite go down the extra thin coat yet. Especially if it's wrinkled, don't put extra thin on it. Silvering gets rid of extra with extra thin, but otherwise it will literally melt to itself. Here's one. Harry says, an idea for PM. Why not create an on the bench category in the shop for items in stock currently being built or reviewed? Andy, on with it.
That's not a bad idea, is
It's a
it?
good idea, actually. We will do that. Andy will be on that on Monday morning.
Andy on the bench.
Andy on the bench.
You know what? That's a really good idea.
Just
Thanks for that.
means we've all got to build stuff that we can sell in the shop.
This is true. Been
So you
saying
have to
that for
You have to
weeks.
scrap
Yeah,
scrap
so that
what you're building, Phil.
get rid of that. That's
Can't we
good.
get these? Are they not available?
No,
Is it not?
no, it's discontinued again. It was for a while, but they bring it back, don't they? It's one of
Yeah,
them.
well, they usually either comes out with tanks or without, with the dolly without.
Obviously, he's got behind him. We've sold out of F15, so you can't do that.
Yeah, that barrack thing, everybody wants that now. You've done the F16, so you can't build that. The F14?
Yeah, we've still got them in. Oh no, which ones you got, Constance? Yeah, we've still got them in, haven't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see what he's got. What
that's
is
the
it?
VF1.
No, that's the
Wolfpack.
P40 that is reviewed
Oh, right, yeah.
above it, isn't it? So he's back on to 32nd. Big stuff, look, I've saying I'm only doing 72nd.
No. It still fits on my mat. It's still in my remit because it still fits inside my cutting mat. As I said before, I'm not doing anything bigger than my cutting mat.
If it had proper wings, it would. wouldn't it?
Even with the back end on it, it'll fit.
I think it will just fit, just about. Yeah, it'll be
I've got a
fine.
question just before it goes because it's on our chat. I feel your mugs are great. I'm sat here with the wife, thinks it's tea, but it's Friday. Knows that it takes great. Yeah. Quick question for the team. What paint number would you use for the Revel Euro Fighter Baron Spirit? That's just thingy grey, isn't it?
It's the German Luftwaffe grey, isn't it? That they do their tornadoes in as well.
I don't know.
It's slightly different to the RAF one, isn't it?
Taka do it, don't they, in their sets, and I don't know off the top of my head which one it is. Oh, Nathan would be the bloke to ask, and he's not on tonight. This afternoon, sorry, he's working. Oh God, I don't know what the colour's called. Not basalt grey, is it? Because that's too dark, isn't it?
It's a bluey grey, isn't it? Their one. It's more bluey than ours.
Perhaps somebody in chat might know.
Somebody might know. Yes.
We kind of can't even go and have a look and Google it. So somebody in chat, just find out and just answer him for us, please.
Phil, send forward my thanks to Andy and Matt for the speedy service of my Master Tools single blade sprue cutters, the quality scraper with the covered blade turned up safely in the post box.
Cool. Good stuff.
Good job.
Right, I've got one from Les. Question regarding AK Chrome. Recently, my Chrome was fragile and wore off, even curing after 49 hours. As normal, it's sprayed on LP1. My theory is that the AK can't key into the LP1. What's your view on putting it onto a matte surface? In theory, it would work. It would, but I don't think it'd be shiny, would it?
You'd kill it. You'd end up with aluminium, just like any other paint aluminium, rather than a metal effect, because it has to go onto a gloss or near gloss finish.
I'll tell you what, though, I think he has got a bit of a point with the adhesion properties over a gloss coat. Because you need texture. Paint needs texture to grip to whatever it's on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in theory, if you're putting something on a gloss coat that's really shiny, it's got really, really microscopic texture for anything on top of that to grip to. So it's going to be fragile. In my experience of painting anyway.
Yes, no, it is. Technically, I always say what's really nice is to have a very, like the primer, like Mr. Surfacer, that 100, gives a very silky finish, but it's not gloss. If you look at it, it doesn't reflect light. It's just a very nice, smooth finish.
But what I'm saying is, right, he's just said, well, it's a lacquer, but it's not. It's an enamel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an enamel. It's not a lacquer.
The enamel's not going to... If you use, say, the super metallics, the chrome that's lacquer. So that's going to have some bite into it onto a gloss black.
Yeah, etch into it.
The enamel one is going to just sit on the top. It's not going to eat into the undercoat, is it?
No.
Now, if you're going to use their black base, which is enamel...
Which is horrible.
We're not on about the quality. We're on about the actual theory behind this.
Yeah.
But you're going over. You're going over an enamel with an enamel.
Yeah.
So surely they've tested this at AK to see if works.
The funny thing is, when you sniff it, and I got a black nose now, I've stuck my nose in that.
Right, that's your fault.
Thing is, this is what I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Have you got one there?
Which one?
And one of their black bases.
I don't think we've sold out.
Because the thing is, when you sniff it, it smells nothing like the paint.
Right.
So you think that might be a lacquer?
I've got a feeling this is a lacquer.
I thought it said on them they're an enamel-based product.
I know, but I've always said I don't like this stuff. I've never got it to work that well, or as well as LP1 or X1 or anything else like that. But the thing is, this smells nothing like Extreme Metals.
Well, it could be then. I don't know, like you say, the chemistry behind it, what it is, unless it says on the label. I ain't got one to have a look at, so I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, obviously, if he's put that over a lacquer paint and it's not keen to it, still not curing, then obviously there's a chemical problem somewhere along the line, isn't there? Whether it's like the LP paint needs longer to dry. Which it shouldn't in theory, but I'm just saying, and that's still sort of gassing off, as we say, and then the thing is not keen to it, or it's the adhesion properties of the chrome onto the LP1 is not the same, it's not working, it's just leaving it soft, or perhaps the chrome is a soft paint anyway. Yes. It's a more fragile paint, so it's not one to keep picking up and handled. I don't know, it's something, No,
I do agree with you. I think the trouble, we spoke about it before. It's plating, not painting. It's always going to be more fragile because it's incredibly thin. So whereas if you've got a coat of paint, you've got a bit of thickness to it. General handling's probably not going to be really affecting it. But if you put down a very thin coat, you'd probably wear through it just as quick. So it'll be one of those tests you do, isn't it? It's just black base both areas, do one in metallizer and then one in an ultra thin coat of normal paint. I bet you wear through it just as quick.
You could do, yeah. Like I say, I don't know the chemical properties behind them, but
and again, things like chrome with extreme metals isn't chrome like a Molotov chrome. This is not like a mirror. It's like a very highly polished, silver finish. Metal finish. You never get proper true chrome from it anyway. I've never seen proper true chrome apart from Molotov, to be honest. You either bare metal foil it and polish it that way, or you do it, with a Molotov pen, because normally it just has that slight, bittiness to it.
Yeah.
But again, it's one of those things. I think it does seem to be that some people get on really well with the AK Extreme Metals, other people don't. Personally, I don't have a problem with it. It just works. Doesn't seem to be how I put it down. It seems to work. But we've got members who can't use it. We get, people on here saying it's not giving the effects they want and everything else. And like we discussed on last night's show, sometimes it might just be one of those products that doesn't work for you. And like we said before, there's lots of different ones out there. Have a try with a different product. See how you get on with that one. Because there's no right or wrong to it.
While Les is on, where is it wearing through? Is it wearing through on the edges, or is it wearing through everywhere else? Because AK Extreme, if me and you were on about this, I think if you catch it on the edges and it's not fully dry,
you will wear through it.
But if it's an enamel product, it takes longer to dry. I think even after 2 days, it's not hard. You've got to leave that stuff to proper harden, and then it's pretty tough.
Yes.
But like we've said, with extra colour and umbro, and they're enamel, they're oil based, aren't they? Technically, they take a lot longer to dry than lacquers, and we're so used to using lacquers and like whacking it on and picking it up like 5 minutes later and it's rock hard. The AK isn't that. It's not that product. You've got to give it time to cure. So I wonder if if it's something to do with that.
He says he's left it to dry for longer.
Sorry, I've just caught the
longer than 2 days.
But even so, it's still enamel.
And again, if it's down quite thick, it will take.
Yeah. Alclad is similar, like you say. Yeah, but is this just the edges? There you go. I've had it with the edges. You've had it when you.
Absolutely. The B17, I retouched in the body because I picked it up for handling all the time. I had retouched it in.
Yeah. But again, you were doing it pretty quick because you're on like a thing. If I've done it with, I don't know if it was my Voodoo I did or the Intruder in 72nd, and I left it. I just put it to one side. I mean, I left it for like two weeks, if not longer, and I never wore through it. It's rock hard.
Yeah.
But I did. I mean, I've caught it with this because this here, all the framing. Round here, I masked it up and I painted in polished aluminium. And yesterday when I was handling it, I was trying to be careful, but I caught it and I went through it.
Right.
So I've touched it with a Molotov pen and had it really nice. I was a bit annoyed with myself because I knew to keep away from it, and I did catch it, and you could see it had gone through on the edge. But then I'd only painted it the night before, so it was my own impatience that's usual things caught up with me on it. If I'd have left it, I think I probably might have got away with it, but. Yeah, I don't know. Alclad wears off. They all do. Because
that was always my bone of contention with Alclad, because Alclad's very thin, and I was forever taking it off on there.
Yeah.
But again, this area here, I re-sprayed it in purely because I'd worn through it. You could see it getting dark where it was getting black, through there.
Yeah.
On this one. So, because otherwise it just, they are very, very thin. That's the thing to it. It's not a heavy duty paint.
No, but I think that is the problem for you aircraft builders doing bare metal. Because you've got to pick it up to finish building it. If you're doing a car engine or you're doing some chromey bits, you kind of can build round them. You don't really, like I could pick this up from here and I'm not touching anything if I'd have painted all these chrome parts, which obviously yesterday I did catch it, but you know what I mean. But if you're building like your B17 or a bare metal, you physically cannot you'd be wearing them thingy gloves they use in museums.
Yeah.
Cotton gloves.
Which Phil's got, hasn't he?
Which
I did on it, and I was using it on this.
Because you've got to think how abrasive your hands are.
Yeah.
And oily.
I suppose you'd have to say, if you were building a DeLorean,
In brushed alley.
you'd have similar sort of.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, I would have
Yeah.
thought you would. Yeah, you'd still have, because you've got to pick, especially on the body shell, then you need to, oh God, no. Ooh, that's scary thought. I'm not doing one of them. That's put me off doing Back to the Future DeLorean. But yeah, no, it is that same thing. Because obviously silver cars are silver paint, which have a lack of finish, so it's fine, isn't it? But, because somebody said about putting it over Humbrol gloss enamel.
Yeah.
But you have that problem of that's going to take weeks to dry before you can put it over the top of it. Then you're going to be weeks again for that to cure.
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, like the oil in your hands are not going to react, are they, to, well, with metallics?
And it is, you know, when you're dealing with something like this, it's such a lump that you're having to pick it up, to maneuver it, to do various things, to spray in it, and you always will wear through it. It is the downside to, you know, metallizer paints. And it doesn't matter, because I've done it with MRP, I've worn through it. I've worn through everybody's metallizer paint at some point or the other. And, you know, it is, you know, they say got handling stuff with kid gloves. Literally, that's what it is, isn't it? You're going to go in there. But even like masking it on here, and I've just put this bit on so people can see it, because a lot of people are like, it's not, because when you undo it, you leave a masking tape. But that's purely because it's not dry yet. And when you're putting down masking tape, if it's not totally dry, when you peel it off, you take a layer with it, you know, and that's the problem that you actually have with it. So doing it in here, and I did do it in sort of one take to literally show that it doesn't leave marks as long as it's totally dry. But I've had it myself where if it's not totally cured and gone off, you peel it off, and if you look at the tape, you can see it's silver on one side, where it's taken that top layer off with it, you know. So yeah, it's not the most straightforward thing to use. Again, like we're saying with the hobby in general, it's just understanding it, knowing why it does it is like, you know, power is knowledge, you know, knowledge is power at the end of the day, isn't it? You know why it's doing it, and then that way you know what to avoid. So as soon as you get an idea of how fragile this stuff is, you treat it slightly different. So you're always lessening the handling, holding it in different places. Don't hold it in the same place all the time. If you can, using kid gloves, because even, to be honest, I use those white gloves, my Mickey Mouse gloves as I call them. They're cotton gloves, 100% cotton gloves. They still wear through it. It's just, even though they're very soft and that, they've still got that bit of rub to it as you're going around doing it all. So that's the problem. But
Tammy Rex 11, you'd not wear through that, wouldn't you?
You won't get it on.
But again, it's just one of those things. Once you're aware of it and you're mindful of it, it's a bit like when you're putting down this thing, you know, making sure the preparation for the coat that's on there beforehand is perfect, or as perfect as you can make it. So then that way, when you're going through and you're spraying it down, keeping it nice and even, nice thin coats, let it dry off, come back with a second coat, so forth and so on with it, you know. And it's just that thing. It's not as straightforward as putting down a coat of paint, you know. So it does take that little bit of finesse to do it all. Right,
Jez has got a question for me, and this is actually quite a technical question, because this is right. All right, I'll read it. Right, I seem to at last got the technique for spraying gloss on the car body. How do you touch in an area if you have to remove a small area to remove dust, etc.? When I have tried, I get a dull area around the touching area, or is it best to polish out the problem? Polish out the problem. You can't. To do a blow-in on something this small, it's easy to repaint it.
He could have shown you, Jez, but he didn't film that bit.
I haven't finished it yet. I'm going to do that last. On the roof, I have to flatten polish. But seriously, there's a little bit of dust in it. Get a bit of 2000, 3000 sanding sponge, wet and dry, polishing one of them, whatever, rub it on, you know, wet it, and then you can polish it back up with compound. Proper car polish is really good stuff. Get a finer compound, not a coarse one, and wax it like you would a general. Oh, sorry, that makes dust. Don't worry, it's dust.
That's what great. Scratching the top of your car.
It's kind of, you can treat it like you would a real car, if you know what I mean. It's like, you know, proper polish and wax, because that's what this is. It's just car lacquer. But yeah, any areas of dust you have to flat out, and it will go dead flat, really matte, and then you just polish it back up. Go through, you know, it's pretty easy to do, to be honest, and that stuff polishes up really easy, really quick. So I'm going to do a little demo. When this is done, I'll do a little standalone video of doing the roof, and I'll show how to go about it by hand as well, because I've not got a buffing.
I was going to say,
I ain't got one for me. Well, you know, with props on or whatever. I ain't got a buffer, so I'm going to have to do it by hand. So, but
get the big DA out.
Oh yeah, the big buffer. I ain't got that for me, Andy. To be honest with you as well, though, actually, if you do want to do it in the starting, it's actually probably safer to do it by hand than a buffing tool, because it's easy to burn the paint. And once you've done that, you're back to square one, because you're just going to go through the layers. It's a bit of a technique to actually machine buff a car, as you'll know.
Yeah.
We know someone who did it.
Yeah, and for every edge. And I said, don't go near your edges, you go straight through, because that's the least painted. Straight over the edges, straight through it. Oh, I've gone through it. They tell you.
And also the thing that can happen as well, and I've never had it happen on a small one, but when in the days of doing polishing on the end of the buffer, is it you can change the molecular structure of the paint. If it gets too hot, it goes funny.
Too hot. Yeah, you've got to. I mean, you know, like modern compounds now, because I don't know what we're using, like G6 and stuff. Yeah. Modern compounds now are nothing like that, to be honest. They're a lot less oily, a lot less messy. And you literally, I didn't know this, but I had a rep come in and he said, you know, like you put your compound on, right? You got your big buffer and you go and spread it. First 30 seconds is the only time the compound works. After that, you're just doing nothing.
All right.
So, you know, people put on and they're like buffing away. They're actually, all they're doing is spreading, you know, contaminants and grease or whatever and dust. And probably scratching it and you're not buffing it. And I actually didn't know that for a long time. The rep came and told me, it just says it's literally the first 30 seconds or wherever long he said, that's when the compound works. After that, you don't, you just stop, you know, you wipe it off. So there we go.
So you just try and sell you more compound?
No, I think actually in theory he's correct. I think it was the Ferrecular rep, to be honest, who came in, if that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, interesting.
Yes. And speaking of which, I've just found that very spot. Hold on, if I can fast forward and you can see, and I'll put it on big screen. Here we go. So there it is. I'm rubbing through it as well.
Yeah.
You know? So
I think the thing is with AK, Phil, it's really easy to touch in.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the nice thing about it. It's not a pain in the backside to actually, you know, touch in when you've wore through it. But it'd be nice if it didn't happen.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? You know, at the end of the day, it'd be a lot bloody easier if it never happened in the first place. But
a lot nicer if it didn't happen. But you know,
these things do happen, and that's par of the cause.
I mean, I still like the AK stuff because I think it's nice to use. Like you were discussing last night, you can either dust it on, flood it on. It does go on and self levels and looks the part. Yeah. I just do think you need to give it a lot more time than you probably anticipate to let it fully cure.
Yes.
That's something I've learned with it. Just leave it, put it to one side, do something else, even if it's for a week, 2 weeks. I don't know, but.
Guys, I'm looking for a 148 scale Eurofighter FOBs. Fob?
Revell. That's it.
Oh, right. The only one I can find in the US where the postage is a killer. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got the Baron Greenback one in, haven't we?
We have.
But that's it. That's the only version that's out at the minute. The Revell one. It's the only one in 48 as well, isn't it? Can't think of another in 48. Not that's worth doing.
It's Larry doing one.
No, that's an old. Yeah, don't go near that.
That's not even a real one, is it?
It's not a real one. It's done off the prototype, isn't it?
Yeah. I forgot they did one actually. So yeah. But yeah, if you want a decent one, the Revell one's all right. So yeah.
Okay, Phil says, hi Phil, Matt and Andy. What do you guys do with the boxes and the sprues after completing a kit? Also, can you recommend a storage area for your paints? Thank you.
recycling me.
I
Straight in the
recycle.
recycling
Yes,
bin.
I have mine all down here. My sprues all sit down here, and then they go out for recycling, and they get taken away and be recycled and turned into traffic cones.
I say to my wife, "Can you take that bag downstairs for me?" And she does whatever she does with it.
It disappears. The cleaning theories come and take it away for her.
You'd make it sound like she's got a black spot on her hand, wouldn't you? Well, she's doing this, isn't it? But if you knew Shell, she'd beat the crap out of him. It's Andy's got the black spot.
Mine goes into recycling. But it's fair, I didn't use it at one time. It was only probably the past 6 months or so I've been putting it into recycling. I always used to put the boxes I did, but the plastic I used to put into the normal
General
waste.
waste, but yeah, now I put it all in, and it's quite a satisfying process. I find putting the empty sprues and box in the recycling bin, because it means you finish to start something else.
Yes. No,
Hence the
I'm
jag
the
box
same.
winking at me down here that needs to go.
Yes, definitely. And I do this thing where I never hoover in here until the kit's finished. So when I had a clear up at the weekend, after the Seahawk finished last week, I went through and hoovered, and you can hear all the bits going up the hoover, like ding, 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 and you think, it's okay, because I know it's all on the model. So whatever's going up the hoover now, I don't care, but I never hoover between builds. Are you going to stock MRP paints? No. We asked and they didn't like us, so they didn't want to supply us. So they're like, yeah, fine. After we championed them and all the rest of it and said they were great.
Yeah, no, they don't like us. So
They don't like us for some reason. I think because we had an opinion once. So.
What? Hey, what? Just the once?
But all right, we had lots of opinions and we gave them lots of feedback. I don't think they probably liked our feedback, so not a lot we do about it. But anyway.
I'll see the with constructive feedback.
Yeah, we gave them constructive feedback, and I don't think they liked it. So okay, whatever.
But you know, it's weird. It's not like trolling somebody, is it? Just being
well, and also we did give it to them privately.
Thing.
We didn't tell them outwardly. We had had a chat with them at a certain show in Europe, and we just put our concerns and our opinions on the paint, and I don't think they liked it. So there you go.
Oh well. Move on to other things.
This is it. There are other fantastic paints out there available. Where are we? Light grey. Speedy thing.
Can I just ask, in 10 minutes at 4 o'clock, can we have a commercial break?
Why?
As if we've got new specials and stuff up. Because I want to go and get a drink while you're on full screen. I'm
right. Wondering if you fine gentlemen can recommend a simple kit for a disabled child. I build models with my daughter and wants to build one with dad.
Oh, they're fixed
snap kits. Yeah, they're fixed
starter kits are brilliant for.
If you remember, me and Lindsay showed a lot of those ones, which are actually great. The little snap kits.
You built one with Lydia.
You built the
Lydia, one with Lydia. We did the red arrows, wasn't it? Or the black arrows in our case, the hawk with Lydia.
Yeah, she still got that. It's with the Lego stuff at the minute. But still got, because she actually got a red arrows one. She got a hawk as well.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But they're fantastic because they're all like Lego, aren't they? And
yeah. So basically, it's halfway between a kit and Lego, and it works really, really well. They're great for kids, for the youngsters to get them in.
Yeah, when they're finished, they look the
really good.
Yeah.
Oh, we got an answer to our Eurofighter Blue, FS35237.
That's. Do they use that? Do they? That's F14 Blue. That is.
Oh, that's.
Is that what they use? Is it? Fair enough.
It says Eurofighter Blue German. Yeah, FS35237.
Yeah, that's actually Tomcat Blue.
Tomcat Blue. Eagle Blue.
Yeah, Dave said Revel Quick Build.
Revel Quick Build as well.
Yeah, perfectly good for kids.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Someone buy Phil an A1 size cutting mat. Barley Grey. Barley Grey's the UK. And I think the Italian ones and the Austrian ones are all in barley grey, but the German ones are in a more bluey. So it's the same colour as their tornadoes are, isn't it? It's more of a blue.
Yeah.
Take your word for it. Don't know, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph 7030. Don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one there, Norm.
Gnomsky.
Apparently, Bandai Hello Kitty Gundam kits are good as well. No
Getting
blue
old,
stat type. Yeah.
It's getting older. Them. I don't know. Obviously, where the question was where they live, but
Canada.
Canada. They might get Bandai in Canada then. No, I said Airfix. What's Airfix like in getting it in Canada? Is it?
Mm-hmm. Mark says, is the Alicat Tucano okay for a resin beginner? Experience with normal injection molding and want to build another Tucano to go with converting Hobby Boss kit. Yeah, it's actually a very straightforward build on that one. It's free to watch. You can see the one I did. And as I say, it's a one-piece fuselage, one-piece wing section, and it's just a case of getting these together. You know, once you've done that, everything's straightforward. But generally, it's really, really nice. It's not complicated. It's not like an HPH kit or something else like that, which is a little bit more in work. So I would say highly recommend it for a beginner into resin. As long as you've got, you know, your normal basic modelling skills, it'll transfer across and just super glue it. Where are we? Alcloud also do barley grey, and it's spot on. Yeah, but that's barley grey. That's not the German one. And so the German ones are definitely not barley grey.
What do you think it says on the Rebel boxing mix? 3 parts this.
Oh god, yeah.
With
Yeah, that's it. Get your alchemy kit out, and you can make the paint.
Yeah.
Apparently, Pokemon's snap kits by Bandai are really good as well. Who knew?
Go. It's a shame Bandai's not readily available over here. I know obviously some of the stuff won't translate culture-wise to us, but some of the other stuff would. It's weird that, isn't it? For such a big company as well.
Yeah. Hi guys, quick question. Has anyone taken on the dreaded carpet monster and won?
I did the other day actually on something. I dropped.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
I did. And it turned up pretty much straight away. It's one of them, I think, if you see it straight away, you found it. If you don't, it's gone.
Or you'll find it after you've scratch built a replacement or something. That's normally what happens.
I'm trying to think of what you dropped.
Some of them tank. Some of that little tank. It was actually,
yeah, I remember what it was.
Right, and question for you. Do you have any idea when the new ICM Bronco will be on the horizon?
Yes.
Do you?
No, not clue.
Tell us then. Fill us in. Let us know. I don't. We don't actually. I don't know. Probably. Actually, ICM are pretty good. Is it second or third quarter though? I think. I can't remember what it says in the catalogue. Or whatever info we've got. But I would have thought it would be out this year.
Yeah.
And then, when adding a resin head to a 35th figure, what is the best way to fill any small gaps? Surface is good, if it's not too bad, or thin down putty with, where is it? I'll say this one, the Plasto putty with a bit of extra thin in it. Thin that down to like a consistency of a surfacer really, and it'll fill it. And any of the sort of cellulose based putties is good for that. How would you do it, Phil?
Same thing, really. As I say, thin putty or things like that.
Or if you really, really got one, then obviously something like a 2-part and re-sculpt the, you know. But I think little gaps and stuff like that, then surfaces and all that are brilliant for it.
Yeah. And obviously, like, there's a classic here I can show you on mine. If you, if I can get this to work, there we go. So down on here, we're doing the fuselages. Obviously, there's a join in here, and to be honest, it's not the best join in the world. So we've just come in with a little bit of styrene filler. This is the homemade stuff, and we've put a large welded bead over the top of it. So I explain it in the video. So we're going to let this now dry off for like 48 hours before we sand it. So, and because it's a large bubbly bead on the top, any shrinkage should be non-existent. So it's allowing for the shrinkage that you're going to get with it. So with any type of filler as well, just allow for a little bit of shrinkage and give it a bit of time to go off as well. Let it totally cure before you go in sanding it as well.
Yeah.
And there was another one in here. Question: bought the new Border Models Crusader and it's sweet. Anyways, does Border Models give away cutting mats?
Hey,
I don't know. Do they? The Border Models do a cutting mat?
Don't know. They know they do tools, don't they? Because we found them on.
Yeah. Border Models do tools. Perhaps they do cutting mats as well.
Perhaps they do. I don't know. If they do, send us one.
Hello from Canada. I tried AKRC last night for the first time. Zero smell. I thought it was a lacquer. Can I thin it with X20A? What's AKRC?
Real colour. AK Real Colour.
AK Real Colour. Yes.
It's a hybrid, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can thin it with X28, can't you?
Yes. If you look at my review, it's a hybrid sort of mystical unicorn type paint. So I thinned it with everything from distilled water, tap water, right the way up to lacquer and hot stuff. And it worked with everything. So that includes all your acrylics, airbrush cleaners. I even put IPA through it, the lot. And actually, IPA worked quite well as well when I was doing the testing with it. If you have a look at the review of it, I tried it with everything. But recently, now I'm using it in anger and not just using it as a test. I've just been using lacquer thinners with it, and it works beautiful. No problem at all. But you can literally, seems to work with everything. It's got one of those molecules in it that works.
What?
The ICM Bronco,
Yeah.
the A is second quarter, the D is fourth quarter,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure if in between the A and the D we'll see the diorama.
Oh, with all the Vietnam ground crew figures.
Diorama thing, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yeah. So that'll be for the A then anyway, won't it? Not the later
A
one.
first off, yeah. Probably not.
So second quarter's soon then, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Be an interesting kit, that, won't it?
Yeah.
The Bronco, because there's an old Testers one. That's the other one. That's the 48.
What, Andy's favourite modelling company?
Yes.
But it's fantastic.
Mr. Testers.
We should buy him one, Phil.
I think we should do. Make him build something. He could do the BG Racer.
The BG.
That's
Staying alive?
That's probably the only kit I do because you can't get it in anything else, can you?
No, that's it. Yeah.
What, BG Racer?
Yeah. Yeah, you can get a BG Racer and somebody else does one. Oh, God.
Lindenberg.
No.
Yeah, Lindenberg. Brilliant. Out of the fire, into the frying pan.
A BG Racer.
It's probably a Reeboks.
A Barry Gibb Racer.
Yeah, it's probably a Reeboks thingy one.
It could be, actually. I'm not sure there is.
DJ says he found his a brass gun barrel for a 72nd A10 a month after he finished the models. Nightmare. By the way, Phil, I've been raving about Mr. Rapid Thinner or Mr. Leveling Thinner. Sorry, you've been raving about. I almost bought some last, but couldn't remember which one you were touting.
Both.
Be honest, I'll be honest now. The Rapid Thinner is now my go-to one. I've been using it with pretty much everything. But as I say, the leveling thinner, if you're doing more glossy things, I think definitely use the leveling thinner. But for general work, I've just been using Rapid Thinner with everything these days, and it's working fine.
Well, yeah, I'll contradict you there, though. Because Rapid Thinner in Tamiya X1 works mint. And dries really fast. To be honest,
you say we were looking at it before. I used it when we used on the B17. That's got Rapid Thinner in it.
My go-to favourite now is Tamiya lacquer thinners of both flavours. Because that's the only one we can get.
Yeah, because we can't get any of the others in.
Yeah, that's it. There's a worldwide shortage of the others. That's the problem.
There is at the minute. Hopefully not for too long. Hopefully we'll get back in next month. But yeah, we've we're out of. We've only got the model colour one in, the blue one in it. Dark blue.
It's not us. It's
yeah. Well, it is what it is, isn't it? Anyway, can we have a commercial break so I can get a drink?
Well, yeah, go on then. I'm just saying, apparently, Rick's saying either he bought the kit and it was in the kit. I think he means the cutting mat. So you get a free cutting mat with every kit, do you? Wow.
Well, it might be because it's first edition. Cause,
might be.
Oh,
Ryefield do some first with stuff that you don't get, or Border have done it because you've had aluminium barrels and something, but it has said on the box on it. So go on then, Phil. Are you on full screen?
I will be. Go on. Right, Andy, where do you want to go?
We'll go to.
Well, look, we're starting in Flooring Models products. Look, don't forget, Sanders are back in stock as well at PM because they got the delivery yesterday. So they've got everything apart from dark dirt. So you can't do dark dirt because of the sets, because obviously, but they have got the rest of it all in stock there, as well as obviously direct off the floor site if you want to do it that way. Right,
answer a email not long before it came on air at somebody asking about dark dirt, and I said, yeah, we don't know when it's coming back in stock.
No. As I say, it will be hopefully before the end of the month, but it may be beginning of next month.
So
sorry, let me get rid of that. That could be them actually. So, oh no, it's the other half.
He was actually asking about the sets, and so we can't do the sets because we're out of the dark dirt.
Yes, it's one of the components, as we call it in the trade.
Yeah.
So, right, where do you want to go? Specials?
Yeah, going specials. Yeah, we'll put a lot of new stuff up for specials. Oh, and one's already sold out already.
That's it.
Yeah,
look, the Walrus.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough. What we're trying to do is we're refreshing specials every Friday and put in plenty of. Oh, and the elephant sold out. Okay.
Happy days. Yeah, I've had a drink. I feel better now. Thanks. I've wet my whistle.
They've not been up that long and started selling out already. Just basically, we just generally go around the store, picking things up we think might interest people, and
bit of discount.
Bit of discount, bit of aircraft, bit of armour. We've even put some second armour up this time. Good. Just to appease
if
the
anybody's interested.
70-seconders. Just scroll down a bit more, Phil. And there's also some cars.
We've only got a few of the damaged box left now.
Yeah.
The G-Wagon.
We've actually got some.
Yeah. G-Wagon, yeah.
The G-Unit.
And also, look, we got the Senna.
Yeah. Senna. We've got a few more damaged box stuff coming in. Actually.
Everything past the G-Wagon, I think, is.
It's just what was still in stock.
Past the
U-boat. The U-boat.
Opel Manta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the specials till next Friday, and then can you go into on the forum, please, not on the PM site, into
PM models.
Yeah. No.
What, into PM models? Yeah.
Yeah. Them bits. Pre-orders, that's the word I'm looking for. Right, so we've just put two up this week, and one is the Special Lobby Westland Whirlwind. So that thing, in 30 seconds.
I want one of them.
And Andy wants one of them. So if you're interested in that, then please get your name down in the forum. And the other thing is the Infinity Models Helldiver, which grab yours. This is it.
Now, some of the guys are asking about who have already asked about them have asked if we can get the extras with it. Yes, we can definitely get the extras. We just try and sort out the price because we've got a bit of a conflict in prices before I post up the price of them for definite. But yeah, this is
put Andy back on.
Hold on.
Oh, cameraman.
There you go.
It's basically a rehash of that kit.
Yeah.
Which my wife bought me for my 50th birthday.
How long ago that was?
Christ, that's years ago then, wasn't it? Have you checked the resin?
It was good that long.
It might have all warped by now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is based on that kit as an injection moulded rather than the full resin. Actually, open oh my god, that thing's just mad, isn't it?
It's when Phil was saying about.
Show the photo etch frets.
Oh yeah.
Can you get in it?
Yeah, it's just a bit of tea.
You need this one peeling off
please,
as well. Hold on.
Stuff amongst yourselves.
Yeah, go.
Shall I get my tiger cat out?
Yeah, look at that for resin. Sorry,
Play to etch.
That's
scary. That's
nightmare.
that's how many frets is it? 1 or
I'm
2?
not sure, to be honest. I'm sure there's a couple.
It's really nice fairway, so it's way for thin.
It's very, very thin, yeah.
But I think, you know, on the Infini models one, you can get dive brakes, Bombay, is it? Cockpit.
Yeah, I think that's all the resin, which is
all the resin stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean
it's a lump, isn't it?
The detail on it is on the.
I know you got to see it on our camera.
And I've seen the story of the plastic one, and it's very similar detail inside. Anything obviously on resin, you don't get injector pin marks.
No.
I know that is sharp, isn't it?
Yeah, gorgeous, isn't it?
You need to build one of these, Phil.
Well, I've got a tiger cat here, which was kindly donated by one of our members.
Yeah.
I know, but I don't know. Yeah, it's just like you said though. They're a proper commitment, aren't they? They're not.
It's not a quick build. Yeah, you're in the long haul for that.
The detail.
I mean, but flip the overhead on. Hold on. You've got it. I can't get off that one. Just flick through the overhead. I'll see if you can see it on the cam. We're on a webcam, but
there we go.
See that?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, for people who think resin doesn't have detail.
These are just off the chart detail, aren't they?
Show me inside of that.
I mean, this is not cheap kit anyway. I don't even know if it's available. Look at that. That is sharp, isn't it?
It is.
I think that's the advantage of resin, though, isn't it? It's just nicer.
Yeah.
Tail, it's not so soft, but you see that just like proper fully.
But obviously, this is 2.5 times the price.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're looking at 250 quid or whatever the you can get one. But yeah, so it's nice. I think it's nice that we can get a. Yeah, what are they clear? I'm not getting out, but I don't know if anybody's ever looked. We've got clear resin.
Yeah, clear injection resin.
Oh, yeah, not even the lights are.
They're
done. It's a proper museum quality, aren't they?
Yes.
And there's the other little bit. I know it's in the bag, but that is bang on. It's wafer thin as well. Scary. So yeah, we'll see how it translates into a kit, and hopefully we'll have them in pretty soon. To be honest, I don't think there's going to be that long a wait for this one. And they're bringing out some other nice kits as well that we'll have up, which is a vampire. Archie Valin 32nd, and like I say, we'll see what else they do.
Yeah.
I don't know if the chat's stuck.
So we're not expecting these to take long before they come in.
So we're going to have a limited sort of run on the pre-order is going to run for. Literally, it's probably going to be till next PM show, which is Wednesday. So if you do want one, get in the forum, get your name down, and we'll make sure you get one.
Right,
back to chat.
The guys are just saying, just while I catch it, about dragon kits. Any of you guys know why I can't find to get dragon kits? I can get dragon stuff anywhere, but when I do, it's way too expensive. Well, we can get dragon, but it's when you can get it. That's the thing, isn't it?
That's the thing with dragon. It's very expensive. And they're a bit of a law unto themselves, apparently, from what I can gather, talking to Hobbyco, or our sort of importer for them. You've got to ignore the catalogue for a start, because that means nothing.
Do you want to change your camera, Andy?
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're back. Yeah. And what they bring out is what sort of they can be bothered to bring out. I think, I don't know, they're a bit of a odd company really.
Thing is, I mean, I remember.
But they're good. I've just built a dragon kit. I've literally just finished one, and it's fine, because I think, you know how people moan about the price, but if you get a smart kit, you get everything in the box. You get a metal barrel, what you'd buy aftermarket. You get photo etch with it. You get, all right, the tracks. They're not metal tracks, but If you get the small link tracks are already cut off and in bags, you've just got to glue them together and stick them on.
Even their rubber ones are...
Most of the time you get really good detail where it's needed. Some of them you get Zimmerit.
Yeah.
So I don't think really, I know they've gone up a lot from what they used to be, but I still think they've, in a way, they are value for money. The only thing is the instructions you've got to watch the instructions. But the one I've built actually had no instruction issues either. So, you know, I had a full drivetrain in that. So full gearbox and not an engine, but you've got full gearbox and all fighting compartment because it was it's a Marder, so it's an open tank destroyer. And so you could see in it all that were there, and you know, and you get loads of extras because you get Gen 2 weapons, and tools. So you get tools with clamps and without clamps. So if you can be bothered to mess about with photo-etched clamps, you can make your own, and you've got the tools without the moulded on ones, or like I did, cheated and just used the ones that were moulded on because photo-etched clamps are a nightmare. But yeah,
but I mean,
I don't know.
Say years ago, all I used to build was German armour, and that's one of their main staple things is German armour. And at the time, it used to be as cheap, if not cheaper, than Tamiya was.
Yeah, it's just the app on
and it's unfortunate that they have gone in price, but still quality-wise, they're still fantastic. I mean, they used to be the go-to for Tiger ones.
Yeah, that's quite long. And Panthers and stuff.
The
German stuff.
It was
I wonder why they don't do sort of, you know how they do the smart kits where you get everything in it? Why don't they do a cheaper, just a basic one? You know, like on their Blitz kits.
Yeah.
Where they went through like, let's have 1 billion parts to build this. And I think they've like listened to feedback and people, well, I don't want to build a full interior and I don't want this. We'll just simplify it and go with the Tamiya route. I don't know why Dragon don't do that because the mold's there, they can do it.
Strange. You think they would?
Anyway.
George says, "Hi Phil, can you ask Andy has he sent his my 2 Global Hawks been posted yet?"
Yes, they are.
Sorted. Is the 132nd Italy Tornado GR4 worth the money?
No. Who?
Italieri. Yeah,
No,
Tornado GR4.
In fact, it's a Global Ops went out on Wednesday.
Yesterday.
Yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yesterday. Sorry.
Yesterday, I didn't get to the post office Thursday, so they went out. Actually, they've gone out this morning.
Have they?
Yeah. Because I didn't get yesterday because I was in here. I was stuck. I didn't get to the post office, so they've all dropped off this morning. The rest have gone today. I've got a couple of questions on here before we go.
We'll blame Matt then because they were boxed up on Wednesday.
Yeah, well. Right, if you were to stock more second scale armour aside from Dragon, what other manufacturers would you provide good quality in this scale and genre? We do stock more than that because we've got some Revell do. Actually, Revell's 72nd armour is really nice, but make sure it's 72nd and not 76 because 76 is your Matchbox stuff. Zvezda 72nd armour is really nice, which we've got some in stock. IBG do 72nd stuff, which we've got in and nice. And I bet there's some more out there as well that I can't think.
Must be Rebels is surprisingly nice for the.
There's one. That's a brilliant kit. That and the Tiger one, if you can get it. But they're 72nd and not 76. Trumpeter are alright. Yeah, Trumpy stuff's alright. So there's a few out there. So now going back to the Tornado. Did we say 72nd or 48?
Sorry, I think we were talking 32nd.
Oh, 30, sorry, I'm thinking 72nd, sorry, 32nd one.
I thought 48.
I know, I'm going to say I'm banging.
Well, we're all scales.
Yeah, we're all wrong here, aren't we? Because somebody's just put up the GR4 is brilliant.
Again, it's a lot of money, but you do get a lot of plastic with it. You know? I have it here. I have Nathan's one here. So we'll give it to our Tornado Master. To biggest plane he's built for a while.
No, Ace does some good 72nd armour as well. There are some good manufacturers of 72nd now.
Yeah, Trumpeter has 72nd armour.
Model Collect.
Is it Model Collect?
Model Collect, that one you've got.
The
modern stuff, that is, isn't it?
They're fantastic, they are,
there is some good stuff. There's another question, Right,
Yes.
hold on. Right, Matt, I have the metal plastic fuel browser kit. You have managed to display the clear parts for the club. Where's best to get spares? What's happening? Oh, Miss Clay. It's Gordon. It's a kind of a one-off kit because it's a convert from a die-cast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Uh,
I personally looking at it, I do the you can do the glazing yourself dead easy with just some
acetate.
acetate,
Yeah.
and there's some markings.
Yeah, spares box.
Yes, and second roundel and well, no, second.
Yeah.
Very tiny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Four roundel or.
I mean, the only other thing is to shoot Gary at Tiger Hobbies, who's fingered it a message to see if he's got any, but I don't know. That's all I can say really, because he brought them in. He's had them sort of done.
I mean, it's just 4 straight
pieces of. Yeah, the back bit don't even matter really, because that goes up the back as well.
Yeah.
So the little window in the back.
They are literally just they're just straight panels.
How did you manage to mislay them in the clear parts and the decals? Just out of curiosity.
I was going to say, with that, can you just use a sheet of acetate and cut them and shove them in?
I was thinking you could do an acetate job.
Let's face it, it's got to be the easiest fix ever because it's a cube.
Yeah.
There's no curves or anything.
Yeah.
With Wing's demise, who is a good manufacturer for World War I planes? Don't have to be 132nd. Well, if you're talking 132nd, then obviously Copper State.
Copper State, yeah.
We've done the reviews of theirs. They do some really nice stuff, which I think is probably the closest thing to Wingnut Wings. Obviously, Meng have done the DR1.
Yeah, Rodin the 32nd stuff. I don't know
Rodin,
what it's like.
yeah.
But 48.
48, Edard.
Edard. It's Edard, isn't it?
Edard do a load.
And Copper State again does some 48 stuff.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I don't know after that really. I think Special Lobby's done some, but I think that's their older stuff, so probably be a bit wary of that. Is the Italeri Sunderland Mark 1 any good? Yes, I built that, and I keep meaning to get it down from my loft and bring it in. It is an alright kit. It got slated when it came out, but actually it builds up really nice, and you can get a mass set for it. So yeah, it's alright kit. Yeah, I've seen Alex on the forum struggle with the Special Hobby one.
Yeah.
The seasick thing, that's been a bit of fight. He's beating it now though, so he's doing a really good job, but seems a bit of a handful.
Yes, more than a handful than I thought when I did the review of it. It looked quite straightforward, but that fillet on the bottom.
Yeah.
You know what? Dirk's just gone on about the big panel lines on it. You know when it's under paint, I don't think it's that bad. I'll dig mine down and bring it, and I'll put it on a cam. I'll get it down from the loft and bring it in, and I don't think it's bad under a coat of paint.
No.
It looks a lot worse in the bare plastic, I think, than painted. Because I actually thought, you know, the Special Hobby one, looking at obviously your review, you've reviewed it, haven't you? And Alex says that he's building on the side. And I'm thinking, well, then panel lines are just seem as big as the Italeri ones to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I've never seen them side by side, that's all.
Yeah.
So I won't know, but they do look quite chunky on the Special Hobby one. So, have you reviewed the Italeri Sunderland?
Don't think so.
I don't think you have either. I've never sent you one, even if you did it before.
Don't
I don't
think
think
so.
you have. I don't think you have you?
No, I'm just trying to think. I can't remember now. No.
No, you haven't, have you? With it, not a lot of Italeri there, full stop, is there?
No, I haven't done a lot of Italian stuff really. So did the Special Hobby.
By the way, we can't call Edard anymore. We've got to call it Edward.
Edward.
No, Edward.
Why?
Because that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, but we said that we don't because we don't conform.
No, we just make our own names.
We make our own stuff up as we go.
So is it Italeri or Italeri?
Is it Tamia or Tamia?
Oh, it's Tamiya, 100%. I know. I've spoke to a Japanese bloke who
I
says
know.
Tamiya.
But the
Not Tamiya or any other rubbish.
But the rep we talk to all the time.
He calls it that. Yeah.
Tamiya.
Yeah, why?
Because that's the Americanese way of doing it.
Yeah, it's Tamiya.
You think he'd know working for the company, wouldn't you? Well, importer.
No, Roger, I don't think there is. That's the only one you're going to have to build, because the Airfix one is a G and they've not done an F, and the only other one's Academy. Did they do an F?
Is this 48th one?
No, 72nd.
A what?
A 72nd Fortress. Roger's
that's a
not having fun with his Memphis Bell.
Yeah, that's a completely different kit to the Rebel G, isn't it? Which is a newer kit.
Yeah.
But here, what's that?
Special Ops Sunderland.
Well, I don't think there's any need for that, is there? Les, I don't think there's no need for that at all.
Taking a dive out of a window.
A bit of patience and a bit of sanding, test fitting, you'd have built that.
I don't seem to have my Sunderland review. It's obviously somewhere else.
What special of it?
Yeah, I don't know what I've done with it.
No. Don't know. Yeah, I'll have some left over from mine. So yeah, I don't know which version I'm doing yet, to be honest. Which colour scheme, but yeah, you can have the decals that's left by. I'll stick them in an envelope to you if you want them.
There it is.
Yeah.
I was looking at them and I don't know, it's the clear that's on the top of it. But the decals look horrible.
Yeah, do you know what? IBG do one in 72nd. Yeah. Could be IBG decals. You could always get in touch with them for a spare set. They might be better. I don't know. What is there? Like a rondel and a roundel and a
think you get
thingy number in it.
6 rounds, I think.
6 roundels and a number.
I don't know whether you use all 6. And then,
no, I don't think you do. So you got 2 on the doors, and one on the back.
And 1 on the front.
Is it one on the front, has it? Oh, you might get 4 then out of the 6. I don't know, yeah.
Sean says he's recently having trouble removing the needle from his airbrush. Anyone having an idea why?
Molly's in the bin.
Yeah, she's trying. Get out. It's empty today. It's bin day. So we spoke about this on a show recently, wasn't it? We were saying about needle grip, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. Yeah, sticky needles.
Sticky needles. What tends to happen is that the bit where it jams, so perhaps your trigger won't move or anything else, it's just literally that thing where the seal has dried and then it's obviously gripping onto the needle, so it can't pull it back or retract or do anything with it. Normally, if you just put a little bit of thinners into the airbrush, it moistens the said area and then it slides out quite easily.
Really? Does it?
So, well, let's face it, moisture helps everything.
It does, you're right. Absolutely, I agree with you.
I think we've all been there where we've...
What, going dry?
No, I knew we were going down this road again. Every time. We ought to just ban this conversation.
I know.
Well, you have to take the nozzle off and push it through from the back.
Whichever way you try and describe this, it just sounds...
It doesn't go well, does it? Especially when I start doing diagrams of needles and holes and things.
There is no way of describing it with just not sounding just crude.
Totally pervy.
Yeah, crude. There must be some more technical jargon we can come up with.
What, some proper words to describe lubing up and inserting your needle.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Yours is nice and free.
Yeah, because I've just done it.
So,
they're terrible for it, they are, for the needle
what
jamming.
You can do to help prevent it, what I will say is, if you use something like an airbrush cleaner, and to be honest, I do like the Vallejo one, what I tend to do, even though I spray lacquers all day long, is when I finish spraying with my actual airbrush, I just put a drop in here. Not a colour cut full, literally just a drop. So it goes down the needle, the nozzle and the seal, and it keeps it moist, mildly moist. And then that moisture stops it drying out and then gripping your needle. And then that way, as soon as you plug in for your first use with it, you blow through and then you put your lacquers into it and anything else you want to go through. But this stuff, if you give it a shake, you'll see it'll foam up. This has got like a type of washing up liquid in it or something, but it stops it from drying out because no one likes it drying out.
So you finished?
That's it.
To please move
About
on.
10 years ago.
Yeah. Oh dear. Or a bit of Vaseline helps.
Stops it squeaking. Anyway, right.
Moving on.
Like kids, like proper big kids, aren't we?
Polishing your needle. That's another thing that I've never done.
What, polish needle?
Polishing your needle. I've never polished a needle in my life.
I actually have, I have to say.
I haven't done
I
as
have
well.
polished a needle.
Yeah, but if you found it made a difference
To what?
for whatever polishing's supposed to do.
It made no difference, but it was quite satisfying.
That sense of achievement once you were done.
Yeah.
I've done it a few times on me H&S ones.
Yeah.
But mainly when I've got a slightly bent needle and I've straightened it out.
With hammer, right?
Yeah. And then
Pull blade out.
Yeah.
Blade out damage.
Got his anvil.
I just use the back end of the airbrush and then put it under and then twist it and
Yeah.
roll it through it, and it's like, you know, pulls it out, turns it out.
Yeah.
But then I just like use a I found the Flory
Sanding sponges are brilliant.
Yeah,
I ain't got one here actually.
yeah.
Them very limited edition sanding sponges are really good for it.
Apparently they're saying, I say Eduard because Ed-ard is the English way with a silent U. Yeah, you don't pronounce the U, do you?
No.
But some people call it Edward.
Why Edward?
Because that's how it's be. You Google Translate and check how do you pronounce Edward, Edward, whatever, and see what it says in the translation on check.
What it
I'll
says
tell you what I was watching. I don't know anything in the note. It was an Eastern European guy on YouTube who said it. I'm not saying he's right or wrong, but I do think it is supposed to be Edward.
We've had this conversation before. If you speak to my mum, I've been saying my name wrong all my life.
Which one? Fleuret?
Fleuret, apparently.
Fleuret.
Yeah, apparently it's Fleuret, but
Go
certainly
on,
me and my brother don't describe it that way.
I said Edward in North London.
Yeah, Edward. Edward?
Lord.
Yeah.
Right.
And-
It's Edard and that's it, all right? It's simple.
Okay.
Edward.
We're not going down the flange and gusset road, are we?
Oh, God, no.
That sounds like engine bracket. Flange and gusset. That could be me and you now.
Flange and Gusset. Yeah, that's about right. Tonight we're joined by Flange and Gusset.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to have it on my top. Flange and gusset.
Yeah, who's Flange and who's Gusset?
Oh, well.
No, it doesn't really matter.
It's bad, so it don't make no difference, does it? Oh, God, it does sound like one of them dodgy, blooming musical duos, doesn't it?
Yes.
And there you are, Flange and Gusset. The Royal Variety Performance.
Yes, tonight we're joined by, on the piano, Flange with Gusset.
Oh,
That'll
dear.
be me.
Oh, God. Probably gone downhill last 10 minutes, this show.
Anyway, more questions.
Yeah, please.
Yes, someone say, what am I building? I'm building a long pointy thing.
Yeah.
It's like a rocket.
It was a rocket, wasn't it?
Well, basically, yes, it was a rocket. Technically, it was a rocket. Yes, this is the X-15. The Special Hobbies 132nd X-15 with the fuel tanks and dolly and all the rest of it. Look, I'll give you a sneaky... Eh?
Hey, you got a pilot with it?
No.
You ought to get a pilot for it.
I don't get what. Who was his name? I can't remember whose aircraft this was now. I did know. But there we
I was
go.
about to say,
There's your cockpit. Look how good that is. Cockpit in. It's a little bit, you know, to be honest, you would say it's simple, but it's like that in real life.
Yeah.
There's not really much to it.
There's not a lot to it.
No. So we do.
Is that the one that was dropped from an aeroplane?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which aeroplane dropped it?
B-52.
B-50, yeah, B-50.
Was it a 52? Was it?
Yeah.
Right.
So yes, it's quite a large. That's its wings, massive. That's literally it. That is it.
Hey, I bet that was easy to fly.
Well, wasn't it? Was it Buzz Aldrin skipped it on the atmosphere and ended up being so many thousand miles away where he thought he was? Because he actually went into space with it and it went sideways. And the trouble is, coming back into the Earth's atmosphere, if it comes in sideways, it's a bit of a problem. So, but yeah, so very famously, he completely balls one of them. But yes, I don't think you'd want to eject out of it, not at that speed.
So is this to thingy Mac, was it?
Yeah, this thing used to go. Hold on. So official stats for this thing are match point 6.72. Which, if you want to go in your miles per hour, is 4,553 or 7,295 kilometres with an altitude of, go on then, what do you think?
High.
68,000 feet.
68,000 feet. This thing goes into space, mate. A little bit more.
How far was that?
I don't know how far space from here.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
I'll give you a clue. It's 67.8 miles up.
Close.
Yeah, 68 in there somewhere.
So yeah, it's 354,000 feet.
How many?
354,000 feet.
Oh, right, okay.
Which is 107,970 meters.
Mm.
So yes, so it does. It goes basically up into space, and then comes back.
It does, yeah, doesn't it? Wow.
But yeah, when Neil Armstrong was flying it, I think it was, it actually went up into space and went sideways. And the problem was it can't come back in sideways. So he was traveling at whatever it was, sideways. Talk about drifting with one hand on the wheel.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was there like, yeah, okay, we're just sideways. But obviously coming in, he had to sort of get it pointing back again and come back in. So yes, there's famous pictures of it. The aircraft's basically melted.
So was this a NASA test thing, or was this a US Air Force test thing?
This was NASA doing it.
All right, is this for the rockets then?
Yeah, this one was actually, there's a couple of really interesting documentaries I watched on it. It was the predecessor to obviously the things like the space shuttle and that, to prove that this stuff can go up and then fly back through the atmosphere and come back in.
A reusable spacecraft.
Yeah, but obviously it was doing speed as well, because this thing was up into the, as I say, what did we say it was? A lot.
60,
Six, yes, 6 or 7 times the speed of sound.
We say that's some G, isn't it?
Mm.
Blimey.
So yeah, you're really sort of burning it up there. So, so yes, good stuff.
Well, yeah, because David's just put the Bell X1, because you built that in 48, didn't you?
Yeah, we did that as the one-day build, wherever it is, somewhere.
So is that? I presume that is a 50s.
Yeah.
Contraption, yeah.
Yeah, they moved quite quickly, really. When you think that was late 40s, wasn't it? The Bell X1.
Yeah.
And then obviously a couple of years later, in the 60s, they were doing this type of speed with it and altitude.
I bet it's a bugger to land that thing. Presume it turned into a glider, did it, or something, to land it? Was it?
Yeah, it just cut the engine and just glided in, and it used to land on the old Salt Lake, wouldn't it?
Hey, a bit like the old Comet, the ME-163 Comet thing, because that was glider, wasn't it? Rocket propelled glider.
Yeah.
The Comet probably glided better than.
I can imagine. Yeah, it's got a bit of a better wingspan, isn't it? Yeah.
Peasby Abonu said if we keep saying Eduard, he's going to leave. So is it Eduard?
Edward.
Edward. Edward Woodward. Best name ever, that was. The Equalizer. Obviously, peas be above you. You don't know us very well, trust me.
Yeah.
So, yes, good stuff. But no, it's an interesting build, so it should be quite good. Shouldn't take too long, hopefully. So, be all right.
Yeah.
Bit of filler, I think, may be required.
Do you reckon?
Just a bit. A couple of tubes should be fine. Some Bondo. So yes.
Have you actually tried to join both fuselages off together?
I have, and it's not pretty.
Is it need a lot of clamping and?
Yeah, this is definitely going to be one of those ones where it's actually, because to be honest with you, this is 2 sections, and I've already done it, and it does say about do the front end, then the tail end. But yeah, there's no way I'm going to mess around with that, so we've decided to do it this way. But obviously, being a fantastic kit as this is, there is no locating things or anything. To be honest, it's not too bad. It's just it's an awful shape, so it's going to need to be reprofiled. These side areas in here, as you can see, as it goes down in here, they are just awful. So it's going to take a little bit of sorting this out. So we're going to be refilling this, probably with styrene filler, and build it up, and then reprofile and shape it. But yeah, it's better doing it this way than it is the other way. Because when I tried it with this seal, this is awfully gappy. So that's why we've done it like this. So
yeah. Can I put any strengtheners in it?
No, I haven't bothered because it's got a plate running across it and there's this all on top, so it should be fine once it's all together. To be honest, as I say, it's actually not got bad detail. It's quite in scale, I would have thought. It's just the parts are a little bit clunky.
Oh, you're putting it on the trolley, aren't you?
Yeah. To be honest, I have thought about sticking it in flight.
Do you know what I was about to say? If we could get a pilot...
Yeah, wait, to be honest, you can't see it anyway. The window is tiny. It's that big. It's just got a little porthole.
Oh, right.
So I have actually seriously thought about sticking it on a pole and doing it as if it's flying, because it would look a lot better flying, even though it's going to be a right pain in the ass to try and close up the nose wheel.
It'd be a pilot in a spacesuit, wouldn't it? So like a SR-71 pilot.
Yeah, they did. They wore silver ones, a bit like they did for the Bell X1. You know, it's basically a mini spacesuit.
Don't know, yeah. It would have been one of them cool subjects, though, wouldn't it?
Where would you get the pilot from?
Yeah.
So I'll just fake it. I'll draw him on the inside of the window.
Cardboard.
So he's just put a black shadow in the middle. So when you look in, you can see a black silhouette.
Are you going to rivet it? I presume it was super smooth, weren't it?
I would have thought so. Yeah, I think they probably, because it was all covered in the most exotic things they had then, like iron.
Iron filings.
But I know there's some very famous photos. When I was doing a bit of research on this, there's one of them, and I think it is the one that went sideways through space, but the entire front of it's melted. Literally, all the pitot tubes and everything are literally just like blobs that have been smudged down it where they melted off. Ooh. So yes. And obviously they start off quite black, but by the time they land, they're very white because of the heat.
That's a lot of friction, isn't it?
Yes, that's it. So, yeah. Oh, look, Robert's jumped in. Don't start us off, Robert, because we agree with you. The UK could have broken the speed barrier first. But because of but it's our tail that was on the X1, so that's all right then. All moving tail.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Old Winkle Brown reckons he went supersonic as well.
That was in a shallow dive, though, wasn't it?
Well, whatever works.
Did you answer the questions yesterday that was not put in the right section?
What, do people do that still?
Supersonic in the Second World War.
Yeah, but I don't think they wanted to.
No, they probably didn't want to tell the story.
They probably didn't know about it either.
See, why aren't people putting them in the right area?
Exactly. Why are they not? I'm not even logged in on that, am I? Oh, looking on yours.
That's
today.
right. Everyone's answered them anyway, so they don't need us.
Right.
Stephen says, "Hi, I'm new to airbrushing. I've been using Tamiya paints to begin with. I'd like to ask if what I can use to seal the paint prior to deckling, and how do you go about spraying yours in anticipation? If you put it in the right area, we would have seen it 7 days ago." Again, I know the guys just down in here have quoted me. Look, it's like a mirror.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
It's a younger me, clearly.
How many are clear?
Look, I
Yeah.
had that out last night. Look, it looks a lot cleaner. It's not as covered in dust now. But yes, so yes, you can just use clears. Any type of clear coat will work. As I said before, it's a little bit of a false economy with the Pledge one. The reason we used to use it was when it was this old type over here, it used to be £3 a bottle. So it was like £1.75 a bottle. But then it sort of creeped up in price. So it's not a cheap option to use clear anymore. So really any type of clear coat just to mitigate any silvering you might get. So it makes for an airtight seal between the decal and the surface of your model. Obviously, if it's got texture, think a sanding stick, it's got air, and that's what gives you silvering. So preventing silvering is a nice smooth finish. So if you're using a harder type paint, like a lacquer paint, you can just polish the area where you're going to go. So just use a polishing stick, polish that area, and then decal onto it. So you don't have to put a clear coat on. So you can do it that way. But you can just put in any type of clear coat you want. So GX100 is a really nice one. You know, we said like clears and various bits and pieces. There's lots of different clears out there. I quite like the Hataka one as well, works well. And you can just spray that on, let it dry, and then decal straight onto it. Also, it's protecting your paintwork. So if you're happy with your paintwork, you can use it as a seal to do it. Same way as sealing in the decal. So when you come in with weathering as well. So it acts like a safety net between layers.
He's using Tammy's, isn't he? So mainly, so X22. Is it X22?
That's RLM, isn't it?
Was it?
RLM02, isn't it?
What's Tammy's?
X22. Sorry, I think it's XF22.
Yeah, X22.
Yeah, X22 is clear. Yeah.
But thin it more than you would the paint. You know, it's all right.
Yeah.
And it does thin very, very well with lacquer thinners as well. Leather thinners or anything like that, or thin it really well, or you can just use X28, but make sure it's quite
Just
thin.
before you move on, Phil, I'm looking at the pics that I took in of the X15 in the Smithsonian in downtown Washington DC, and it has rivets. That's from Eleanor. So you got to rivet it now.
So I got rivet. Well, that's not a problem. I don't mind riveting it.
Yeah, I don't know. And you got no plans
For it, no.
What, for the weekend, I mean?
I was going to say, the photos I've seen of it,
Yeah.
I don't know about riveted. It shows them with like flush rivets onto it, which have been sort of bondoed over and stuff like that, a bit like they did with the Mustang. So I don't know.
But surely, though, that would just really burn off quick, wouldn't it? I'd just... Isn't it keeping you again? It's Friday.
It's come the lights from shining in my eyes.
Every Friday, you're in it.
It's because you've had a fat lunch, you see.
Yeah. So it's because
he's got the meat sweats.
And the lights. We've got two great big lights here behind the camera, lighting us up, making us look beautiful.
Needs more light.
Need more makeup.
Need sunglasses. Need more light.
In fact, we need less light. Need to be dark to make us look good looking.
Okay, Grebe says, "Hi team from Melbourne, Australia. I hope you find all well and busy modelling. My question is for Nathan. He's not here. I did say he could pop in after the show, but he's obviously still at Skull. With a really busy tornado guru, unless you do want to speak to him, I will aim at him. What, in your opinion, is the best 70-second scale GR1? Ravel.
Ravel, that's it.
Because it is it.
Well, I think as a gal would do it.
Oh, look, Nathan's already answered it.
Yeah, there you
Scrap
go.
all of that. What did he say? Ravel GR1. There you go.
Ravel.
That's the we were right.
We've answered it enough, though, haven't we, to be honest?
Okay, what about a spraying angle? Paul says, when I'm spraying Tamiya acrylics, the fluid comes out from the tip of the nozzle at an angle rather than straight out. So
Bent
I'm
needle.
looking down at the gun and it's spraying and the nozzle is going up rather than straight out. Any advice? You've got a bent needle.
You have definitely got a bent needle.
Or it could be the end cap not cleaned out properly, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could actually be the nozzle not cleaned out properly. And
or you've got a split in your nozzle.
Yeah,
but
you know, the easiest way you can tell if you've got a split nozzle is that when you're airbrushing, if you find when you're going left, it's like a line, but if you're going up, it's like a wedge. So it's a bit like using a marker pen, you know, one of the chiseled ones. Because I've got needles and nozzle that have done that. If I go side to side, it's like a fan. Yeah. But if I go up, it's a perfect line, and it's because I've got a tiny, tiny split on the nozzle, and it's leaking it off to one side a little bit. So that can be a bit of a problem, but it probably is. So take your needle out, steel ruler or something hard, and then just twist and roll it backwards and see if you can straighten it out that way. And sometimes they do come back.
And definitely a problem with your front end.
And then polish it.
And then polish your needle, clearly, for some hours. But don't forget lube to keep it moist. Because friction is not your friend. Oh, look, I've lost my thing now. I've over-clicked. Liquid masks. Hi all. Can I ask what is the best liquid mask people have found? Watching Phil's 124th Typhoon, and he used a mask that he swears by. Which one would that be?
That would have been the mask, this R. The Sol
the Sol R. I would like to know if this is still available. Is it? We got it in stock?
Yes.
Yeah. The problem is it doesn't like a paint spray much, does it?
I don't think any of them do. Do you know what I'm actually going to try? Because I've got my Matchbox build. Announcement on that next week, isn't the film?
Yes.
Massive big announcement on the Matchbox, whatever we're doing. So listen to next, when we announce it, Thursday, aren't we?
Yeah, Thursday night, aren't we? We said?
Thursday night. Know the blue stuff Micro Scale Industries do?
Yes.
I'm going to try that.
All right.
What, to see if it's just like all the others?
Yeah, right.
What are you building?
I can't tell you a secret.
He could tell you, but then he'd have to kill you.
Yeah. No, he's too valuable for that. I need him.
What are you building?
Question for Flange.
You've only got two. So
Flange.
This is one for you then. Have dust it on the jack. Are you going to polish it? Interested to know what with? If stop. Right, Les. Actually, I will be polishing it with Tamiya compounds. Unfortunately, because I have them at hand, we can't sell them over in this country because, for whatever reason, usual thing with Tamiya, if we don't stock it, we can't get it.
It's normally labouring,
but it's going to be the same stuff in a smaller tube as you can get, like if you've got your own car polish. So Maguire's is one in it, or if you don't need a lot of it, but something like it's just a compound. So yeah, because I actually don't own any polishing stuff anymore. I will be using the Tamiya stuff that I've got for myself. But it's the same principle of what I'm going to do, to be honest, for normal car polishing compounds.
I did use Tamiya polishing compound for cleaning my headlight lenses on my car.
It's just car polish in a small tube. That's all, whatever it is.
I've got like a little
Auto Glim. God, there's loads in the Auto Glim, Maguire's, Teacup. I think now even that, I used to hate Teacup. I think they've redone it. Like 3M do some. Follicular. Yeah, Teacup look in a little thing. Oh, squeeze a bit out. Put your overhead on, Phil, and just squeeze some out on a piece of card or something, or a mat.
Orange colour.
Yeah, is it that mustardy baby poo colour, or is it white now? Oh, that's put a bit on your fingers. Is it quite gritty or is it quite smooth?
No, it's smooth.
Now stick it up your nose.
I'll tell you what. It's the smell of my childhood is teacup.
Has it got the teacup smell?
Yeah, it's still got the teacup smell. Well, I'm covered in it now.
You don't miss that, do you? What you don't want is the really coarse.
Yeah, you don't want the gritty one, the coarse one. Auto Glim used to do the coarse, fine, and ultra fine, wasn't it?
Yeah. Fine and ultra fine's more than going to be enough for this stuff because 2-pack. Yeah, that dries really hard, and if you do leave it, and then it's gone, it's It's a sod to polish back up, to be honest, from flat. It's really hard. But this stuff, because it's just normal single pack lacquer, it's really easy to do. Like we'll see by hand and stuff. But yeah. Yeah, Maguire's speed glaze would work well. Yeah, it probably would. As long as it's got a bit of bite in it. You don't want to wax, obviously, because that won't do anything. You want a bit, like, definitely a fine compound, and then that'll do it.
Yeah, but so we can't get Tamiya because of
labelling issues.
I
would have thought. Yeah, usual thing in it. So, yeah. You got any more questions?
Yeah, Stephanie says, hi Phil, well, all of us. Being 8 time zones away in Seattle, it's hard to watch live. Bearing in mind you did this 7 days ago. I still like the shows and do watch them, but they're obviously with the tape delay. I've got a Grex airbrush with a 0.3 diameter, and I'm spraying at 17 psi. I'm new to airbrushing and having trouble making a straight line to follow the panel lines for pre-shading. Instead of a line, I get circles of paint dots. Not the spider web. I'm assuming it's an error. Can you advise me on what I'm doing wrong?
Yeah, drop your air pressure.
Drop your air pressure and get closer.
Yeah, 10. Like you want 5.
Yeah, 5 and if you can't then spray it at that air pressure, thin your paint a bit more and just.
Yeah.
It's like a balancing act, isn't it, between the thickness of your paint and your air pressure and.
Yeah, but like Phil said before, though, if you're doing it for pre-shading, I won't worry too much.
Yeah, you want it to be as rough and as gnarly as possible.
You don't want the ultra straight lines because they look false.
The only thing you don't want though is rough paint it to go on rough as otherwise it will show up.
Yeah.
But as long as it's
in the ballpark of a straight line, I got it like a spray. I can't spray a straight line if I tried.
No, I don't either. You don't want to. The thing is, like we've always said, if you're new to airbrushing, just put water in your airbrush and just get used to the 2 basics of literally when it's coming out. So you get the break of when it comes out and where it's going. So you just get an idea of and just use sheets of paper and just water and just put it through your airbrush just to get used to how it's going, and how much is coming out of it and stuff like that. Then shift over to paint. And then again, just start off with doing the I've got loads of videos on it, noughts and crosses, circles, putting dots, lines, distances, so you can just work out how much spray and is it's happening. So you're just getting a feel for it. And just do that a lot, and that way you'll just get the basics of the control over the airbrush before you even get near a model. And when I've done the teaching courses here, the first thing everyone who's done them will know, you'll get sat here with a piece of plastic, with a giant sheet of plastic card, and I'm like, right, okay, everyone does a line, and then obviously we do the dots, and then we do the eyes, and then we do the little things that we do right the way through, and it just gives you an idea and gives me an idea of how much control you've got over your airbrush, and then that way you can just go from there of like, right, okay, we're going to work on this, so you're understanding it a little bit better. But it is that thing. Have a look at the basic videos that I've done all about it, and it hopefully will get you over that initial problem thing. When you're new to airbrushing, it's that thing about mixtures, air pressures, distances, and then like we were saying before, you get the rough textures, understanding why that is. As soon as you know why, it's all very straightforward. But if you don't know, it's really frustrating. So that's why we've covered it over those videos. In depth.
Yes, it definitely is. Yeah, it's learning the tool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like anything, it really is like learning the. I was just thinking with that. Obviously, if you've got one of these or one with the Mac valve and a needle adjuster, then obviously you can adjust your flow.
Yeah.
And obviously your air pressure on the go, which is nice. I presume if you're learning, it's probably easier to do it with one of these because you can just dial in and out your pressure off this.
Off the fly, yeah. That's why I say take no notice about what your regulator is saying, what you're spraying at. Right. You're better off listening to your airbrush. And if you have got a fine controller like on here or like on Matt's ones we got down underneath, you can just dial it in and just do it on the fly. So as soon as you hear it, you do that thing and it sounds really loud. You're like, right, well, that needs turning back straight away. You can just whack it back and then away you go and finding the sweet spot. But once you've got the basics of it, it's a bit like driving a car. Driving a manual car, you're understanding the bite, the accelerator, the clutch is working together with your braking and all the rest of it. All of a sudden, the penny drops and you start to go. In that way, then you can move on with the technical stuff for doing, you know, mottling and fine line camos and all things like that. But just getting the basics of paint down is, you know, the hardest thing. Once you get it, it's quite straightforward.
And we're very sorry for the transatlantic time delay of 7 days.
Yeah, we're 8 time zones and 8 days apparently. The guy's talking about the Smithsonian one. To be honest, that's what I use for references off the cockpit of this. So I have been on the website. That's where I've been getting a lot of the pictures from that I have been pinching. So thank you to everybody who's mentioning that one as well. There was just a couple in here just before we go. John would just like to thank everybody for the response for the question about his disabled child. And awesome. Has given him lots of great ideas. Please all be safe. You too. Love to the family. We need a question area for Friday questions. We don't, because that's why we're not doing questions, although we are. We're doing them more live. We're trying to keep Fridays as very casual.
Yeah, so, we don't want to be...
Yeah, we don't want to be like we do for like Tuesday shows, Wednesday shows and Thursday shows where they're structured. Yeah. The whole point of these is to be very laid back and totally informal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a little bit more lighthearted.
Yeah.
Greetings to all from South Africa. Need help with Vallejo paints. Keeps clogging. Airbrush says that you can spray it, but no joy. At 20 psi, still clogs every 2 minutes. Welcome to Vallejo. It's acrylic. Obviously, you're probably in the summer-ish. Mind you, you're getting into autumn now down in that part of the world. So, but your temperatures are quite warm. A retarder would help, you know, a great deal. Again, have a look at my basic videos onto it just to show they are free for everyone. If you go up on the top here, let me just show them, and that way they'll all get it. If you go to tutorials at the top here, it's all free, okay. Go to which one are we? That's equipment. This is airbrushing. Just down in here, click on learn more. In here there is a ton of videos that talk about it. So you've got basic airbrushing, just the basics of it, you know, your equipment, cleaning out nozzles, seal set changes, all things like that down in there. And these, which I did do a few years ago, to be honest, I did a series of live airbrushing. And if you go through those, you will see everything. And in there, I use Vallejo Model Air all the way through. And we talk about obviously putting in retarders to help flow and stop clogging and to thinning your paint and all stuff like that as well. But it's a great little resource. I do intend to go back and do them again with a more up-to-date version, but have a look in there and hopefully that will get past all the teething problems, shall we say, of setting up and, you know, basically just working your stuff.
How old are them bits now?
Oh God, a lot. Judging at the background, it's when I first moved in for the top ones. So that's 10, 11 years ago now. And then obviously these ones down the bottom here, the live ones, they've got the cabinets in the back, but I've only got one spray booth. So that I've had those sort of 3 years now. So yeah, a little bit older. But because it's all live, it's all warts and all. We did them live. I did it for 2 hours on a night every week. And people asking questions as well. And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like it. But you have to understand, it's a live recording of when we were doing it. So people asking questions. So
yes. But everything's still relevant. It makes no difference if they're 20 years old. Yeah. It's still, it's still the same principles, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those, oh no, that was a different thing, wasn't it? Where we were live and you were talking to us and expecting people to talk back to you and know what it did. So you cut it short, but we were talking back to you. I think that was something else.
I'm lost what you did.
It was long. It was.
Was that a long time ago?
Yeah.
Was it? Pass. Just to answer Robbie, yes, I will be. When the Tamiya F4B gets released, I will build it. Because you got.
You've heard it here first, folks.
But as soon as we get it in, it is on my to-do list this year. So you know, it's supposed to be out. Is it June?
Next month, that is, mate.
Oh, is it? Oh, is it? Oh, right. So it might be a little bit nearer June. I'll do it.
You better get your finger out and get some.
Yeah, I better freaking get going. I've got an eagle in here and a zero, and yeah, Jesus.
It's June, I think, June, July time if all goes well. So yeah, you've got a bit of time to crack on.
Yes.
Busy, isn't it?
He's proper busy, isn't he?
It is. Busy times.
Question in our chat
Is there?
from David.
I've answered it.
Have you?
Yeah, Airfix.
Yeah, that's the wrong question. That's the wrong answer.
Academy or Airfix?
Yeah, but
he's asked Academy or he didn't say Revell. He said Academy or Airfix, and I've answered Airfix is the better one out of the two. What do you think, Phil? He's asked, right? Which one centre second B17G is better, Academy or Airfix? I'd say Airfix one, yeah?
Yeah.
And Andy is saying, well, the Revell one's good, but he's not asked if the
he didn't ask that question, did he?
Academy or Airfix. Andy likes the Revell one, he's built it, ain't he, Andy?
What worried, was it Dave that did said he was doing the Memphis Bell?
No, that's Roger.
Roger?
Yeah.
It was a Revell Memphis Bell, wasn't it?
Yeah, 7 second.
Now, I know they did an older version of it, but they also did a new version that's based on the new version of the G.
Oh, I don't know which one he's doing.
And if you have problems with that, because...
I don't know, that's for a different show because it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
You need to go home.
This is a good point.
Yes, because my little friend is here, look.
I can see her.
Yeah.
She's just reminding me it's getting very near dinner time, everyone. So you can all go home now because I need my dinner, otherwise she's going to starve, clearly. Aren't you? Are you going to waste away on me, are you? Yes, I know. Yes, you're a good girl. Thank you. Right, let me say goodbye to these nice people then, and we'll leave you with a nice video to watch.
I know Memphis Bell was an F, but they did a reboxing of the G.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Definitely. Right, okay, so we're out of here, guys. Don't forget, you can get everything, as always, from the PM store. That is available if you want to go and help us out in any way, shape or form and help us. Well, apparently is now sent Andy's child to college. To uni, because that's not cheap. Andy's going to have to sell his stash, I think.
It's 5 years he's going for.
5 years. Yeah, my Lord. Let's hope he keeps you in your old age. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, if you want to help us out, you know what to do. You can see it down in there. We will see you next week. As always on a Friday, I'm going to leave you with your great work from the actual gallery section this week, and we'll be with you on Monday.
Yep.
Well, you get a recording on Monday, but we'll be back on Tuesday forward, going forward on that one. Right, okay, say goodbye, gentlemen. We're out of here. See you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Falling like I'm wasted.